All right, per usual, I believe it's a great day to be blessed and to talk about the verse that stood out to me the most today. I believe it's about Philippians 1, and I believe we're going to start from verse 15. It is true that some preach Christ out of envy and rivalry, basically out of bad will, but others out of good will. The latter do so out of love, knowing that I am put here for the defense of the gospel. The former preach Christ out of selfish ambition, whether that be for money or hatred or otherwise, not sincerely, supposing that they can stir up trouble for me while I'm in chains. But what does it matter? The important thing is that in every way, whether from false motives or true, Christ is preached, and because of this, I rejoice. Now, Paul is talking about how it's good that the message of Christ is being preached, regardless, because it could lead to a seed being planted, which allows some people to actually go to Christ. But what also matters is the intentions behind it. You see, like, people could bring up God in a negative light, like to condemn other people because they made the matter something. And that can be pretty awful, and God will deal with that. But to those who listen, God will still reach out to those people who are being told that. And He will be making a work in their hearts if they let Him. All right, moving on. Yes, and I will continue to rejoice, for I know that through your prayers and God's provision and the Spirit of Jesus Christ, what has happened to me will turn out for my deliverance. I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage, so that now, as always, Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. You see, to a Christian, death is not merely the end of them, because as Christians, we believe that God will take us when we die. Because it says at one point that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And this is what the place, the principle that we live by. Alright, moving on. For to me, to live is Christ and to die is gain. If I am to go on living in the body, this will mean fruitful labor for me. Yet what shall I choose? I do not know. I am torn between the two. I desire to depart and be with Christ, which is better by far. But it is more necessary for you that I remain in the body, which basically means to help other people guide others to Christ. It would be better to help others become better Christians as well. This will do some good. Convinced of this, I know that and I'll remain, and I will continue with all of you for your progress and joy in the faith, so that through my being with you again, your boasting in Christ Jesus will abound on account of me. And I believe Paul finally says this much. Whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Then, whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I will know that you stand firm in the one spirit, striving together as one for the faith of the gospel, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose you. There was more to this verse, but I believe that was most of the very important parts. So, I believe that main takeaway from all this is that yes, people can preach Christ, but it can not be in a very forgiving way. Which reminds me of Jonah, just talking about judgment. That was literally it with the people outside. But I believe another part of this is that as Christians, we shouldn't exactly fear losing everything because we have everything in Christ. I mean, not literally like having your entire household, but that could be a good argument too. But rather to place our mental bonds on God instead. And I believe that third, every now and then, including myself, we should take a look at ourselves and maybe conduct ourselves in a manner that God could look at us and smile and be proud. Not that He is the proud, but we could make Him better. We could please Him better. Overall, I believe this was a very valuable takeaway that God gave me from Philippians 1. I'm just glad He gave me that verse. Hopefully, you're enriched by it. And I believe that will be it. Have a good one, man.